Greetings everybody, it is I am the one and only Maxi here once again, and I'm back for yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. Look at those cute butterflies, or actually once again hovering around of those specific flowers. But anyway, enough about that specific sightseeing because we still got a whole ways to go through, especially because we still have not done with Dreadnought just yet, and especially noticeable with the next two galaxies eventually. So either way though, because chances are though, we are definitely getting close for this point. So anyway, yeah, I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos, like I said before. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars while we play through Super Luigi Galaxy playthrough from the likes of Super Mario Galaxy game for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have basically managed able to, well, finish up completely in terms of Gateway Galaxy by going through the only red star mission throughout the whole game by simply able to collect all 100 purple coins, but this time around though with Luigi in some cases though. And on top of all that stuff though, we did somehow manage able to get started with the forms within the Golden Dome by simply able to collect even more power stars exponentially, despite the fact that on the likes of in Kumela Daredevil boss fight from the likes of the forms of Deep Dark Galaxy. They did took me about 3 attempts though, which I wasn't expecting about that, just because again with Luigi's slippery attraction, so I apparently did not even realize about that. So, but at the end of the day though, we did somehow manage able to still accomplish it regardless of everything else though, so. And that was literally 1 second to spare by able to complete this mission on the first attempt, so. Nicely done and easy going. So, and that basically this will actually be the final time trying to deal with the forms of the trash specific missions, because well afterwards though we can just simply move on to the next 2 missions for Dreadnought Galaxy, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So. And basically, we've almost done with the forms of the secret missions for now on, so either way though, I think there was only 1 secret mission left, so that will be taking place in the forms of in Melting Mountain Galaxy, which does require, you know what I mean, more star bits to able to grind through, especially we need to use the Hungry Luma for that particular galaxy in mind, so. Anyways, let's get to it with the forms of Revenge of the Topman tribe. So either way though, we can pretty much expect how we can able to, you know, speed things up a little bit, especially now I can able to jump higher, and as a result, it allows me to able to skip certain portions, so no need to able to rely on the forms of that specific Topman fella in the beginning. So as a result, because you know, Luigi jumps higher than Mario, so nothing to be bragging right or anything, it's just that, well, the thing is, I just love to able to speed things up a little bit, just to add a bit of variety for a change. So either way though, we can pretty much expect how this is going, so. Oh yeah, and another thing I would like to mention about this as well, originally, I was expecting to able to actually also decide able to not only finishing up with the forms within the Golden Dome, but say applies the forms of going to the center of the universe as Luigi for this video, but apparently though, I think I should probably able to wait a little while until specifically this Friday, so because of this though, yeah, today's date is of course isn't it the forms of the 19th of October today? Yeah, I'm sure it's the 19th of October today, in this case in 2022 today. So first off, before you're able to mention something I did not even realize, is the fact that I'll explain more details on that in a moment. First off, happy 10th anniversary of the release of Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted in the UK's cinema release. Gee, I can't believe it's been about an entire decade old at this point. Especially noticeable that particular film to me though, it is still my favorite in terms of the Madagascar film trilogy wise, just because of all this vibrant colors and stuff like that, and also on top of all that stuff though is still hilarious even to this day. Oh, and another thing too is the fact that I can't even believe why I'm saying this, that it's also been about a decade ago since when Finding Nemo did manage able to get 3D re-release from the likes of the forms of, well, Finding Nemo back in the forms of in 2012 as well, which goes alongside with the forms of one of those Toy Story tunes is actually on there. So either way though, yeah, time flies, doesn't it? So yeah, something's worth credit for the sake of the forms of trying to mention about, you know, 10th anniversary of certain stuff, although it wasn't until whenever we get to the point that we've not exactly done with the actual 10th anniversary based off from 2012 stuff just yet, because as I said before, until next month it will be the 10th year anniversary of the release of the Wii U, and also the film Rise of the Guardians, the DreamWorks movie adaptation and stuff like that. Although, relatively speaking, Rise of the Guardians is actually the last DreamWorks movie able to be distributed by Paramount Pictures. Even though I do apologize for that tongue twist in the end, folks, because I was going to say something a little bit more clear than that, but unfortunately though, I somehow got distracted by a lot of information I must able to confess by that point. So, anyway, so let's head back into Dreadnought Galaxy for the 5th time as Luigi, and this time we're going to be hit on to the final Speedy Comet mission, so this will be the last time trying to deal with the forms of a time limit, so... And once that's been done, then we don't need to worry about the time limit. Oh, wait a second. There's still some more time limits left, especially noticeable because, well, obviously we now need to rely on the forms of the Purple Comet missions as well. So either way though, that will be for a little while until specifically by the end of this month in general. Although, also I'd like to mention about this also is the fact that tomorrow, after this video releases, is that both Mario Plus Rapid Sparks of Hope, alongside with the forms event, the 5th anniversary of the release of My Little Pony the movie in the UK version in the cinema, expected to be able to be existent. Well, usually for Mario Plus Rapid Sparks of Hope, will be releasing tomorrow for the Nintendo Switch, which I'm still excited about. And on top of all that stuff though, I just cannot wait until I decided able to celebrate the 5th anniversary of the release of My Little Pony the movie 2017 in the UK version, so that way I can watch that film time and time again, despite the fact that I'm still a brony, so haters gonna hate. I mean, I do really enjoy the film. Like, it does have some pacing issues, which it doesn't bother me at all though, because I usually enjoy some set pieces here and there, so yeah, that might be something to behold, so I might be biased, I guess. So anyways, let's get to the forms of that specific topic. As far as I completely did not even realize is the fact that despite the fact that I've already mentioned about the majority of the forms of the Nintendo Direct announcement recently, from the likes of, I'm usually referring to as the English versions. However, one thing I totally forgot to mention about is the Japanese version. Well, usually because relatively speaking, they do have some bit of changes around here. Well, I've already mentioned about the fact that usually Sonic Frontiers did manage to able to get itself its brief appearance from the likes of the Japanese Nintendo Direct, but also not to mention though is the fact that one thing I didn't actually realize is the fact that relatively speaking though, we are able to actually get ourselves the actual specific release window for the sake of the forms of GoldenEye is going to be coming on to the NSO, which I did say originally, I did say 2023, but then for somehow I predicted it. So because of this though, yeah, it's going to be sometime next year, alongside with, you know, Mario Party 3, as well as Pokemon Stadiums 1 and 2, and Excite Bike 64, 1080 Snowboarding, as well as this other game that's going to be Japanese exclusive, which apparently though, the Japanese version of the NSO update is also getting as another game on its way. That will have to be buddy forms of Harvest Moon 64. So, yeah, that just seems interesting to able to include that game somewhere, but I believe that game is also going to be releasing until 2023, but only in Japan so far. So I'm not exactly sure if the English version might able to get it though, although mind you, because, well, I just have no clue about it yet, so... But yeah, as far as what I did manage to double check on the forms of that particular, you know what I mean when it comes to the forms of that particular N64 Mario games list, as far as we've double checked on. Yes, as far as I'm aware, we've basically almost gotten every single games in terms of the N64 Mario games, basically. Like, I think we've only got specifically 5 left for those Mario games to be released on the Nintendo 64 and brought it over to NSO. So next up it will be, obviously, Donkey Kong 64 and also Diddy Kong Racing, because either way though, if it does featured on there, then that will be fantastic. Especially noticeable, they can finally get a chance to play Diddy Kong Racing online again, but this time on the superior Nintendo 64 version. So, because obviously you can no longer play the online play on the DS remake because obviously the Wi-Fi connection is shut down. So, yeah, it makes a pretty obvious sense. And also there is, I would classify for saying, Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. Oh, wait a second, I keep thinking about another game that I, already mentioned about this, several times already. That Banjo-Tooie will be up next, eventually, in 2023 sometime. But we'll just see what happens during next year, so either way though, yeah. Seems like that GoldenEye is definitely going to be expecting to be released on the NSO until next year, thanks to the Japanese, well, Nintendo Direct presentations. Yeah, that seems very, you know, confident. And on top of all that stuff, though, is the fact that, yeah, I've already said this earlier from the likes of the forms in the past few videos ago. Yes, unfortunately, though, there's no way you can able to transfer Pokemon into your Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 in those, you know, NSO games, sadly, because, well, similar to the forms within Mario Golf and Mario Tennis, most likely, for the N64, there's no way you can able to actually just to transfer your stuff from your N64 transfer pack because there's no connectivity. And speaking of which though, when it comes to the Japanese version of Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, obviously it calls it like Poké Monster Stadium 2 and Poké Monster Stadium Gold and Silver, because as far as I'm aware, surprisingly enough, we've never actually, the Japanese version never actually gets the very first Pokemon Stadium game to be released in, I would say in 1998 or something like that, where they do have Pokemon based off from Red, Blue, and Green. So, either way though, honestly I have no comments on that whatsoever, just because, well, as far as I'm aware, before we get to the next topic, as far as I do not know, is the fact that, unfortunately though, I no longer have myself Pokken Tournament DX physically. That's only mainly because, well, I just love to collect physical stuff based off from one of my favorite franchises of all time, like Mario, Sonic, The Legend of Zelda, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, as well as the forms of, any other games for this matter though, including some cool PlayStation remasters and stuff like that, or remakes as far as I'm usually concerned with, but either way though, everything else will be all, comes together pretty alright and stuff like that, especially because, well, relatively speaking, you know, I just love to collect, you know, physical stuff. However, I will try to able to get Pokken Tournament DX digitally at some point in the future. Well, mind you, I've already still managed to got myself DLC with it, so because, well, I've got no words to think about it, so. And as you can tell, I was expecting to able to do the hardest challenge on this level right here, because, well, as you can tell, I was expecting to able to utilize the spring transformation in order to able to make it for this point, but it's too damn difficult. It's way too difficult. So, yeah, we'll just have to scrap that, the terrible spring mushroom power-up, so. Either way, though, yeah, that's as far as I can usually try and describe it, so. Anyway, so, I suppose another thing I should probably explain about this as well is the fact that I did look upon the forms of certain box arts recently, specifically The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm gonna say, the box art for that game, it looks absolutely stunning, and it looks so gorgeous to boot. Even though it kind of reminds me of the forms of the, I meant to say, it kind of reminds me of the Breath of the Wild box art, because relatively speaking though, it's no longer gonna call it Breath of the Wild 2, because it now gets like a finalized name, which is of course Tears of the Kingdom, which some people might take a while to get used to with that specific title of the game, but either way though, I'm pretty much used to it right now, so either way though, because I'm very happy about this, especially I'm still playing the Breath of the Wild right now, just before that game is about to be releasing, so yeah, it should be pretty awesome and stand out, so. Anyway, so as you can tell, we've already managed to complete Matter Splatter Galaxy, so that was the true definition of the final time we're going to be experiencing that particular level, so. Anyways, so now let's move on to Melty Mountain Galaxy for the, well, this is not exactly the final time we're going to go to there just yet, though, because that honor goes to the Purple Comet missions, I'm pretty sure, but that won't be for a little while, like I said before, so. Oh yeah, and also, relatively speaking though, until next week anyway, James Bond's Skyfall is going to become a decade old until next week. So either way though, I was expecting to hopefully try to celebrate that until next week. So either way though, we can pretty much expect how this is going. And also another thing I would like to mention is that I think I've already mentioned about this before. There's a bit of a bummer about the fact that the golf sport in Nintendo Switch Sports has been postponed until, you know what I mean, this particular coming winter. But, on the other hand, the Japanese Direct did somehow technically mention that they're actually getting its Japanese exclusive title, which appears to be by the forms of Easy Come, Easy Golf. And I've never actually heard about that game before, and especially noticeable because, well, honestly, the only time I'm interested with golf is with the Mario characters, and that's basically all there is to it. Although, mind you, it's nice to be able to actually have ourselves the random golf game from only released in Japan. And as a result of that kind of stuff, though, that's about it, basically. So either way, though, because chances are, though, yeah, I completely forgot to mention about the fact that with those informations in mind. So, but anyways, this will be, well, it's not necessarily the final time we're gonna able to actually use the Hungry Luma, because that wasn't until the next video that we will definitely gonna be able to actually just to classify for able to utilize Hungry Luma for the final time, but hey, at least that's something, I guess. And I shall also mention about this is the fact that one thing that both Pac-Man and Pinkie Pie have totally forgot to mention about ever since and during the course of being Mario Party Superstars recently, because relatively speaking though, at the moment right now, they've basically done 3 boards out of 5 boards, so next thing you know, they will do another board at some point this weekend, so relatively speaking though, that we're actually getting, not gonna lie, pretty close towards the end of Mario Party Superstars Let's Play, despite I kinda wish there was actually more content. Although, don't get me wrong, that I still enjoy the game still, but it's just the fact that, well, I'm sure that both Pac-Man and Pinkie Pie have pretty much already established the actual mentioning about the forms of the entire game itself. But anyway, let's talk about the forms of another topic for today, and that is the fact that, oh, and by the way, this is actually the final time we will be definitely going to be collecting those silver stars, by the way, because, well, as soon as we collect all 5 of these, well, we will basically just stop collecting these anymore. So, yeah, I guess that pretty much summarizes from such. And, anyway, so let's get into the forms of another topic I want to point out, is that certain games did somehow manage able to get some bit of shadow drops here and there. Although, first of all, let's get to the forms of one of those Nintendo Switch accessories. To be more specifically, Split Pad Compact. And as far as I'm aware, it's gonna get ourselves its English international release for that specific controller. And I think it's gonna be releasing until December the 7th, 2022, which marks the same day as, I would say the, how can I describe it? Oh yeah, ever since when, around the same time as when the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate will be eventually become, 4 years old during that time. So, gee, I can't even believe that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is almost going to become, 4 years old until specifically the next couple of, well, days and stuff like that. Or specifically next 2 months' time, so, yeah, time flies, doesn't it, you know? And I know I keep on saying that because it bears repeating, because either way though, because, you know, time really does fly, you know? And then also another thing too is the fact that one of those games in particular, called, I won't classify for saying called, Guardian Tales, it's been made by, Kong Studios as far as I'm aware, and that particular game is a, what else, an RPG game, and sure enough, although it did already came out for about 16 days ago for the Nintendo Switch, so I'm not too surprised right there. Although, mind you, because of how the fact I will give the Switch some credit for, is that I'm very grateful that it has a lot of RPG games right now. So, because, you know, play on the go, and also you can able to actually just no need to worry about sit in your room all day, and then next thing you know is you can able to play it portably, or just simply just, well, I don't know how do I usually describe it, as far as I'm aware, so... Anyway, and the next thing I want to mention is the fact that out of nowhere, also, that there is that random party game is going to be releasing until next month, which apparently is going to be a Mario Party knockoff, which appears to be Garfield Lasagna Party. And as a result, though, it's going to be on the Switch. I'm not exactly sure it might actually be revealed on other platforms, as far as I'm aware, but we'll see what happens during at some point until the next few days. Even though that I'm most able to point things out, I'm probably not able to be bothered able to get the game personally, just because I'm perfectly fine with playing, you know, just Mario Party, because Mario Party is the most outstanding series. Well, to be more specifically, the old school days of Mario Party, including Superstars, the most recent installment of the series. So either way though, because, you know, everyone else is so super happy about, you know, eventually when Mario Party 1 and Mario Party 2 will be on the NSO, and Mario Party 3, they will enjoy the game even more, and especially noticeable to play online play. Even though I've said this multiple times, but I promise you guys, I'm probably gonna stop mentioning about that stuff. So, yeah, because I can't help it for myself about the fact that it's so great able to see Mario Party 1 and 3 back again, rather than still stuck in the forms of the actual N64 cartridge versions. So, yeah, everything else will come together, so... And as far as I'm aware, that's, yeah, anyway, let's get to the forms of Garfield's Lasagna Party for the Switch. It's about to be, approaching. And as a result, though, yeah, it's going to be releasing next month. So, and from what I can gather, it's basically a Mario Party clone, so... Anyway, so here's the forms within the final Hungry Luma that we can able to actually just use, but we'll save that until, you know, the next video, so... Oh, and I suppose the last thing I want to mention while this is going on, although there's actually two more things I want to mention, is that, well, I suppose that both Pinkie Pie and Pac-Man also forgot to mention about this as well, that apparently though, that Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 Slime Speedway has exist. So it already exists already, because it already came out just about, I would say 12 days ago, since in the 7th of October, during the forms spin this year. I can't even believe they've now actually got 3 of these games. Like, I just have no idea why, they just keep on, like, selling certain things like that, and it's just, everything's go, like, completely mental all of a sudden with all these specific announcements and all the other stuff for this matter though, and it's just, it never ends. Like, seriously, it just never ends when it comes to likely for certain Mario Kart knockoffs or anything else to be more specific, so... But honestly, I just have no idea why that these series needs to continue, but either way though, that's as far as saying goes. I think that's pretty much as far as I can usually try and discuss upon, like... I have no idea why that game usually exists throughout, but it's there I suppose, but still. Anyway though, so let's just go ahead and keep on moving along. And also, the final thing I want to mention though, is the fact that until also in next month as well, specifically in Paris most likely, that usually the film called Treasure Planet is going to be eventually become, well, 2 decades old until specifically the 6th of November, which I think I'll let some toys else were able to mention more details onto that until specifically when that date comes. And as a result though, yeah, I can't even believe until by that time, Treasure Planet is going to be 2 decades old until next month. Well, mind you, in the UK version's release date differs, because obviously we didn't get the film until 2003, despite the fact that I seemed able to lost interest with the film personally, just because, unfortunately though, that film got poor box office, which because of how the fact that, well, I just have no idea why, it just gets like a pretty miserable box office as far as, you know, things itself is concerned, so... And also, relatively speaking though, is the fact that, relatively speaking, I suppose that's about it. Although, mind you, it did have some decent reviews for Treasure Planet, but honestly, it might not be my favorite films in terms of post-Renaissance era, because honestly, that honor goes to, like, I would classify for saying Lilo and Stitch, because Lilo and Stitch is by far the most uniquest, you know, Disney films in terms of post-Renaissance era of films. So, but that's just me. And as you can see right here, this will be the final time we're going to be able to take a ride on the, well, the Star Ball, as you can probably tell, because either way though, that since we're getting closely towards the end of this particular Luigi's playthrough basically, so as a result though, no problemo, and thus because as you can tell, we basically already pull off a nice little shortcut from the beginning, so just in case I can't be bothered able to do the normal way again, despite the fact that I'm, unfortunately though, still using my Pro Controller, because I can't help it for myself of how comfortable this thing is. Well, mind you, it's not still recommendable, but the game obviously encourages you to use Joy-Con controllers for the better, to able to replicate, you know, with the Wii Remote and the Nunchuck combo, so yeah, that makes a little bit obvious sense, just like Super Mario Odyssey. And speaking of such though, let's do one more mission for today's video, and because of that though, we're about to be fighting against with Fiery Dino Piranha for the final time, so... And exponentially speaking, we've now bumped up more extra lives for about 44 of them. Well, mind you, until when it gets to the point until whenever we get into the Purple Comet missions, once we're done with the Forms of the Fate of the Universe mission, to be more specifically Bowser's Galaxy Reactor, basically though, my lives will once again will reset. But don't worry though, thanks to Toad though, that basically he'll give you more extra lives than Mario's, so... Because obviously you get like 20 extra lives, so... Anywho though... And I suppose, as far as other discussions I would like to make, that's just all I can say. So because of that though, I have a lot of things to discuss, so that's at least a good thing, especially because, well, by that time is the fact that I've got no comments to say in regards to the forms of the majority of the Luigi's playthrough throughout the majority of Super Mario Galaxy game on the 3D All-Stars compilation, because, as I said before, you go through exactly the same missions as before, except you play as Luigi instead of just Mario, so... Yeah, it feels like I was gonna do exactly the same routine as Sonic Heroes, as in, like, going for the exact same stages or something like that. But, regardless of such, though, it doesn't bother me that much, though, because, you know, I enjoy this game so much, so... Anyways, let's launch ourselves from here. And able to dodge more lava, so just to ensure that we won't be able to get hit multiple times, even though I just got hit by one of those fireballs to somehow manage to come out from the actual specific lava and stuff. And I must be honest guys, is the fact that the actual entire process of this entire commentary, when it comes to likely mention something like news or anything else like that, it just feels a bit time consuming throughout the majority of the week sometimes, because I was able to get ourselves a bit of a good script going for the sake of the forms of trying to mention about, you know, something new has just happened and all that jazz. But then next thing you know is the fact that, well, the entire processing of this entire, well, editing stuff to do, it just feels like, well, it just takes a bit of time, so, yeah, I guess that makes it super obvious sense right there, so. Anyway, so we've got ourselves the, you know, these star chips, as you probably already know, in the 2D, well, 2.5D segments here. Oh, I should probably also mention about the last thing I want to mention about today's discussion, even though that's as far as I can usually think about it. Yes, I have managed to able to utilize the, well, iOS 16 software update on my phone, and somehow I can able to actually connect my, well, my Bluetooth function for my Joy-Con controllers. And I will say, it does work very well. Well, mind you, I have tested out some other games though. Mind you, I did manage to have quite a few app games so far. So in some cases though, I tested out Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic the Hedgehog CD, and as well as Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2. And overall, it works great. Despite the fact that I have to go for the actual touch controls for Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 2's case. The only exception it doesn't work though, when it comes to playing with Joy-Con controllers though, is the fact that I cannot able to actually activate Super Sonic on Sonic 4 Episode 2. And as far as Episode 1 goes, it will not be playable, which is kind of unfortunate, because I get it because of how the fact that they have to utilize the phone's capabilities, like, you know, gyro sensing and stuff like that, but it makes a pretty obvious sense after all, because I could assure you Episode 1 does not have any, like, newer updates as far as at this point in time, so... But yeah, I think as far as saying goes, I think that's as far as I can try to mention about the forms of today's discussion. And good news, we got enough star bits for the final hungry llama we can feed. So that'll be until, you know, in the next video, specifically until this Friday. So... And it looks like we're now on to 102 power stars. So I believe we've only got about roughly 18 more to go. So... yeah, we are definitely getting there, folks, despite the fact that we didn't collect that much power stars, though, but that's okay, because, well, relatively speaking, though, it's just the fact that, well, relatively speaking, we can definitely tackle through the Daredevil challenge until the next video. So, with that being said, though, I think we should probably end things off here. So, join me next time for more of Let's Play of Super Luigi Galaxy in Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Is the fact that we're going to be taking on the final Daredevil mission and hopefully stop Bowser again for the 3rd time as Luigi. So I'll see you guys until on Friday. Later, fellas.